Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I can tell you, I've listened to you and a handful of other people try to put the best face on this possible, and I can tell you that the temperature of the American people is not there with you. And that, I'm not talking from a partisan basis, this goes both ways. You know, there is not enough lipstick in the world to put on this pig to make it look any different than what it actually is. So the American people want to know who's responsible for this. So let's start with this. Who is responsible? Who made the decisions on this? Was it the President of the United States?
Ultimately, the president makes the decisions. That's correct.
Did he in this case?
As in every case, ultimately decisions that can only be decided by the president are decided by the president.
Well,
Now, of course, to be specific, Senator, there are hundreds, thousands of decisions every single day that go into a situation as complex as this one. The big strategic decisions, those are decided by the president. The tactical, operational decisions are made by different agencies, agency heads, agency officials.
well, I'm more interested in the top decision making. Look, we've all seen this. We saw it as recently as yesterday. Somebody in the White House has authority to press the button and stop the president, cut off the president's speaking ability and sound. Who is that person?
I think anyone who knows the president, including members of this committee, knows that he speaks very clearly and very deliberately for himself. No one else does.
Well, are you saying that there's no one in the White House that can cut him off? Because yesterday that happened, and it's happened a number of times before that. It's been widely reported that somebody has the ability to push the button and cut off his sound and stop him from speaking. Who is that person?
There is no such person. Again, the president speaks for himself, makes all of the strategic decisions, informed by the best advice that he can get from the people around him.
So are you unaware that this is actually happening? Because it happened yesterday at the Interagency Fire Center. It was widely reported, the media's reported on it, and it's not the first time it's happened several times. Are you telling this committee that this does not happen, that there's no one in the White House who pushes the button and cuts him off in mid-sentence?
That's correct.
So this didn't happen yesterday, nor on the other occasions where the media showed the American people that his sentence was cut off in mid-sentence.
Yeah.
Are you saying that didn't happen?
Senator, I really don't know what you're referring to. All I can tell you is, having worked with the president for now 20 years, both here on this committee and over the last 9 months at the White House, the president very much speaks for himself.
Well, let's take a different attack. He does speak for himself, but what happens when somebody doesn't want him speaking? You're telling us you don't know anything about this, that somebody cuts him off in mid-sentence. Is that what you're trying to tell this committee? Because everybody here has seen it.
Senator, I'm telling you, based on my own experience with the president over the last 20 years, anyone who tried to stop him from saying what he wanted to say, speaking his mind, would probably not be long for their job.
Let's turn to the dissent cable that you received in July. Are you willing to give a copy of this dissent cable that you got from 24 diplomats regarding the imminent catastrophic collapse in Afghanistan? Are you willing to give a copy of that to this committee?
Senator, this dissent channel is something that I place tremendous value and importance on. It's a way for people in the State Department to speak the truth as they see it to power. And these cables, I've read every single one of the dissent channel cables that we've gotten during this administration. I've responded to every single one. I factored what I read and heard into my thinking and into my actions. But the legitimacy of the channel, the ability for people to be able to, with confidence, share their thoughts, share their views, even when they run counter to what their seniors have said or the policies being prescribed. It's vitally important that we protect that channel, protect its integrity. And it is designed by its very regulations only to be shared with senior officials in the department. And what I don't want to see is some kind of chilling effect going forward that says to those who would think of writing a cable in the future that this will get out widely, be distributed in ways that would have that chilling effect.
Do you admit that you received a dissent cable in July signed by 24 diplomats that warned about the imminent catastrophic collapse that was coming in Afghanistan?
Senator, I certainly received the cable in mid-July. I read it. I responded to it. I factored its contents into my thinking. And what the cable said broadly was two things. It did not suggest that the government and security forces were going to collapse prior to our departure. It did express real concerns about the durability of that government and force after our departure, and it focused on the efforts that we were making, particularly on the SIV front, to try to expedite moving them out. And in fact, a number of the recommendations, the very good recommendations it made, were already in train. Others were not, but one of the ones that was in train was the establishment of Operation Allies Refuge. We received the cable on July 13th. That operation was actually put into force on July 14th. It had already been planned for some time, and this was an effort to expedite the identification and relocation of SIVs, actually putting them on planes, which, as you know, is not part of the program, actually relocating them and working to establish transit sites so that we could put them there while we finished processing them.
Well, you see, that's the problem with us not having access to that cable. You're telling us that, but we have been told by others that it was significantly different than what you're saying. Also, we really would like to see the response to that, because I think history is going to be interested in that particular cable and your response to it. I'll save my next question for the next round. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator Cardin, I've asked Senator Cardin to, in addition to his questions, preside for a few minutes since I have a hearing that I have to just go to. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Blinken, thank you so much for being with us today.